Hi everybody, Carmen here. We are so excited to have Devin here from Kai. He is a scissor expert, and I don't know about you, but I have lots of different pairs of scissors, and I love having the right pair of scissors for the job. So Devin, tell us about why Kai is different.
Yeah, so what makes Kai different is mainly the steel that it's made out of. Kai is a Japanese company, and so their steel that's coming out of there is just better refined. It's going to be more durable, it's going to hold its edge longer, and they're able to make some unique metals that are just going to last longer as well. So we can jump right in and talk about one of our...
We should. I mean, I know that like myself and all of the team members at Quality Sewing, we all own Kai scissors, and we love them because they just work super well.
I know we talked before about this, but the 7000 series is really our flagship scissors. They are our professional line. They are a harder, smoother, stronger blade than you're going to find on just about any other scissor out there. What really makes these guys special is that metal. And what we can do with that metal is we can make the blade sharper. Whereas if you did that on a softer blade, that's going to dull the blade really quickly. And so with that sharper blade, it's going to cut smoother, be less resistance for your hands in cutting. But then also I like to highlight that it is perfectly smooth on the inside here. There's a little coating on these guys, and what that allows for is rust resistance, smooth durability. And the final thing to note is going to be that nice big washer that we have on there, that spring washer. That's going to allow the blades, if you don't know the geometry of scissors and blades, basically two blades curve towards each other and then they bend off of each other. And if you have two pieces of metal just rubbing up against each other, that's going to cause, friction for those hands.
Yeah.
Those spring washers are going to allow it to float a little bit more and give, again, a smoother action for you. So.
Right, yeah. Can I...
Absolutely, yeah.
For a second.
Yeah.
So what I love is how they sound. I'm sure if I put it to my microphone, you probably can't hear it, but they just sound amazing. You can just tell that they are going to cut like all fabric like butter.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what sort of fabrics are these going to work with?
Yeah, so they'll cut just about everything. Any kind of fabric you can throw at it. Obviously, there are some fabrics that are going to wear it down a little bit faster with your puller fleeces, but any kind of cottons, your knits, your wools, your satin, silks, it'll do it all.
Yeah, and I've even heard customers use it with batting, and it's amazing, right? You can just easily cut the batting. Or for garments, I mean, these are just really the gold standard, I feel like, in the Kai scissor line.
Yeah, and I will mention too, it's kind of got a unique design to it. So other scissors more have a traditional handle where it kind of goes in line, where these guys bend up just slightly and give you that kind of hybrid bend. So it's going to sit flat on the table there and give you a good cut.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so this is the Kai, and this is a 9-inch?
That is the 9-inch, yeah.
Okay, this is the Kai
7230
Professional Series 9-inch.
Yeah.
So this is one of our top sellers as well, and we really love this. But it looks like you have a brand new professional series scissor that I haven't even seen before.
Yeah, so this guy's only been around for a couple years now. This is our 7100. It is, we finally came out with something that was in the professional line on the smaller size. And also what they added with it is bigger finger holes. We've always had an issue with having a little bit smaller finger holes.
That's really helpful.
But those bigger finger holes are going to be good for, I have a lot of guys that come up to me at shows and things like that too. They need something to fit them. But you'll notice on the 7000 series, they also have metal all the way around. So you don't have to worry about, it breaking on you. It's going to hold up really well. And they do have those really nice points on there as well. I don't know if we can highlight that, but yeah, really fine points on the 7000 series too.
Oh, which is great for fussy cutting and things.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can jump into kind of our next line of thought. We'll jump over to these purple scissors here. So we're going to kind of talk about some specialties here. These serrated scissors are the purple scissors, I should say, are serrated. They have this little groove on the edge. I don't know if we can quite catch that. But what that's going to do is add some friction to the cut. When you're cutting those silks, those satins, any kind of fabric that wants to jump out of your scissors and run away, that just adds friction to the cut and kind of lays down some teeth in there so it won't push out or slide away. We do have a complete line of purple scissors, but this one right here is our 8-inch. It's the 3210 SE serrated scissor. Nice versatile blade that's going to cover most of any kind of pattern cutting and things that you need for.
And aren't these called the patchwork scissors?
They are patchwork scissors as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So they do a great job for anything that's going to get away. Yeah. Well, and we'll kind of highlight. Maybe we have some other options because we kind of get a bad rap for having kind of just bland black handles, but we do have some other options. We'll get into
like the fun purple one.
Yeah. Moving along on some specialty stuff, we do have scissors that have curves in them as well. These guys over here are going to both have a curved tip on them. One is more of a traditional, small 4-inch little snip there. And they do have just a slight curve at the tip there, if you can see that. And what that's going to allow for is sitting on top of a surface, flat, and cutting away that exposed thread. Anything that's going to pop up there, whether you're doing embroidery or applique where you need to cut away that top layer, it's going to help a lot with that. For handwork, this is going to be a good option. But we also have a double curved version. And this guy right here has a curve at the top. That first curve is going to be going over the hoop, and then the second curve is going to be for going away from your project. So
yeah, I love curved scissors.
Even kind of show that off here. Again, you're coming over the top of the hoop and cutting away those exposed threads, just laying flat, not having to worry about poking it.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it so much easier for cutting all those jump stitches and making sure you don't accidentally cut the design or the fabric.
Yeah.
I can't be the only one who has accidentally stabbed my scissors into something and totally ruined what I was working on.
You're definitely not.
Okay, yeah. And having the right scissor for the job definitely makes it so much easier. And that's where this little curve is really just amazing, because it keeps that point away from doing damage to something, but it's helping you get real close and snipping all of those, loose threads. I mean, we have tons of them on anything that we make, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess we can kind of jump into a special breed. We can go rotary cutter.
Rotary cutter?
Yeah, let's do that. So what makes a Kai rotary cutter is the actual guard on this guy. And maybe I'll show the back first. We do have on the back this little lever, and it can move to the left or right. Either way, your choice. The only difference between that is how much the blade will rotate. So right now I have it on heavy, and then on the other direction is going to be light, so it spins really easily. Once it's to either side, the guard actually is still in place until you actually start cutting. So maybe we can look from top to bottom, but I'll maybe show, as I push with my finger here, that guard's going to move out of the way. So as I cut against this ruler here, it moves out of the way, but then it is back in place. With guard in place, you don't have to worry about, did I leave a blade out in the open? Do I have anything that's going to bump into it and get myself cut? There is that lock for ultimate safety if you want a way to make sure that it's locked and you're not going to cut yourself. But if you happen to leave it unlocked, it takes more effort to bump into this guy than it does to actually move that guard. So you won't get yourself cut if it's just sitting out in the open.
That is so nice, because it is, I think we've all accidentally cut ourselves on our rotary cutters, and these things are so sharp.
Yeah.
They always make me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, and I will highlight our blades too. So our blades are tungsten steel on those guys.
Okay.
So a lot of people have stainless steel. That's the majority of your blades are going to be made out of stainless. But these guys are going to last 50% or longer than your normal stainless steel blade.
Nice.
And they still are at a really great price point.
Great, and this is a 60 millimeter.
That is a 60, yeah.
So that means you can cut more with it, right? Than like a standard 45 millimeter.
Yeah, if you got more layers to do, yep.
Yeah, the 60 is better for that. And then what other sizes? Do you also make a 28 millimeter?
Yeah, so we make a 28 millimeter. It's going to be in a tan color, and it has a removable cap for that one. And then we also have a 45 also with that blue handle where
I love the blue.
You don't have to worry about having a cap for it, and it'll just move out of the way when you unlock it.
Great,
So,
yeah. And then this is the 60. And then, so I know you mentioned that Kai has some really nice blades that are unique, but let's say you already have some 60 millimeter blades. Would they work in here?
Absolutely, yeah. And maybe we can kind of show that. When you're changing the blade on this guy, and look right here, we got this top nut on there, real easy. And you might run into some other brands that have washers and springs like that. Not on ours. It's super easy. Just pull it apart. There's no springs, no extra washers, nothing extra you need to do. Just put a blade back on there and put the pieces back together. No, nothing you need to figure out there as far as, which way does the spring go.
Yeah, it looks really easy. And also, you're not going to accidentally cut yourself as you try to change that blade.
Yeah, exactly. And so, awesome. As you mentioned, Fiskars, Olfa, those guys will all fit on our cutters. So if you already have blades, it'll work.
Okay, that is just good to know, because I know sometimes we all buy lots of stuff and we want the new one that's a little bit easier to use, but we already have, blades or things. So that's great. Also, everything we're talking about today is on the Quality Sewing website, and you can purchase those items there. We have them, they're on sale. We also have all of the different Kai scissors and rotary cutters, maybe not all, I shouldn't say all because you have so many, but we have our favorites in our store locations, and we do have all the ones that we are talking about today.
All right, well, now might be a good time to jump into those guys.
These guys, I love these.
Yeah, I was going to say, they tend to be popular around here. We've done some events with you guys in the past.
Yeah.
So these guys are what we call our seam removers. And what we have going on here is basically a razor blade with a guard over there. So I don't know if we picked that up quite, but there are basically this plastic guard that comes over the top with little tiny gaps in it. Right there, I think we got it. And what those gaps allow for is for you to cut on top of a surface and not have to worry about cutting yourself or cutting your fabric. Only things small enough to fall in that gap are going to get cut. So if we go ahead and start to try cutting away a seam here, you come in between the layers, and I don't know if I can get it. There we go.
Yeah.
You pull it across the top of that exposed thread, and there we go.
Oh, that is amazing.
Pull across that top of the exposed thread, and it makes it really easy for cutting. You can even close it up and kind of do a circular motion, almost like sawing, where you're pulling across and getting those gaps to fall on that, and it cuts it right open.
What I love is how, like with these, you know, you don't have that point. You're not going to accidentally once again put a hole in your fabric. As you can tell from my stories, you know, I'm a little impatient, and whenever I mess something up and need to take my seams out, like I'm trying to hustle, right? Like I'm annoyed. I'm like want to do it fast, and sometimes with a normal seam ripper, you accidentally, once again, there's that little pointy part. You like put a hole in something, or you get a little bit too aggressive, and this really protects from that because it works really well. But you aren't gonna. It would be really hard for you to accidentally like cut your fabric.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, which is great, and you're not going to hurt yourself because I'm sure somebody has also poked themselves with a seam ripper before. I don't know who.
They work really great. We've had them going on for almost 8-9 years now.
Yeah, and they come in different colors,
they do.
Which is sort of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that.
Again, we're trying to move away from just being boring black.
So they're great, super handy to have. And then they also have the little cover, which is great, which I think can just take us right into the next thing. I think you have some covers over here. And I wanted for you to tell us a little bit more about how to care for our, our Kai scissors and keep them sharp, and like, can they be sharpened?
Yeah.
That's usually a pretty common question we get.
Yeah, so one of our biggest things that we like to sell just to help you make your scissors last longer are going to be tip covers. Just a little something that you can put on the end of your scissor and help them keep the blades closed, so that when you're moving around, or you're going to a show or coming to an event here at Quality Sewing, you can put this on there and travel with it, and it's not going to let the blades open and potentially knock into something else or poke a hole through your bag. But the biggest issue that people will have with their scissors getting dull and not realizing why is going to be the putting it in the drawer and then just letting it rattle around and let it knock into other things. It's a lot like a knife in that you want to make sure those blades are closed and that they're protected, because if they have the chance to bump into something, they're going to get a nick in the blade. So tip covers is a great way to take care of that. We do have a couple sizes. So we do have the one large size, and then we also have a smaller one that is going to be for the littler scissors, and it's on a lanyard. So if you're sitting at your machine and you want to,
that's really handy.
I want to have something, you want to know where it's at every time. You don't want to have to wonder, did I put my scissor underneath a pile of fabric and now I have no idea where it went. This is kind of an indicator for where it should be at all times. And if you move positions, right, you're moving from one area to another area, you can keep it with you, and is really useful. The last one that we have, and you'll mainly only see this on any of our colored handled scissors, is going to be these kind of clear hard plastic covers, and we have those guys on the pink handles as well. These guys snap on, they're really nice, they just feel satisfying, but yeah, they'll fit all the way over the blade. Oh, I'm making it hard for the cameraman, my bad. But yeah, they snap right on all the way, and they look really sleek, and they just fit with a nice secure hold there too. So made specifically for that specific scissor. So it's a nice feature to have with some of our scissors.
Definitely a nice feature to have. So let's recap the different things that we talked about. So we talked first about these guys here. So this is the 70-230 professional scissor, right? 9-inch blade, larger handles. I mean, they just cut like butter. It's pretty awesome. So we talked about these guys.
As well as the smaller 7000 series,
Right, okay, and then the smaller guy here, smaller 7000 series. What's this one's number?
7100.
7100, okay, perfect. And then we talked about the rotary cutter. This is the 60mm rotary cutter, but they also have the 45 and the 28.
Correct,
which is pretty awesome. Plus they have blades that are, you said tungsten steel.
Tungsten steel, yeah.
So they're really high quality. They last a long time, which is awesome. And we talked about these serrated purple What's the number on this one?
So that one is a 3210.
3210. These are the serrated patchwork scissor, which is great for getting a little bit more grab when you're trying to cut something that's slippery or you're doing some sort of patchwork thing. And then of course we have 2 different styles of these little snips that have the little curve here, which is pretty awesome. There's the one with the handle curve, and then this guy with the straight handle, but still the curved tip is the
5100C.
5100C. So I'm telling you these numbers because I imagine there's a couple of these you might need. So Devin, this was so helpful. I love all these scissors. We really appreciate you coming and visiting us so we can share all of your good. Oh yes, we forgot all about that. My team is like, come on, Carmen, talk about the left-handed scissors. You're a lefty. You also have left-handed scissors.
Yeah, so I do want to highlight that before we take off. We do have left-handed scissors here, and they do come in 2 different styles. Man, I should not have worn a black shirt. So our left-handed scissors, like I said, come in 2 different styles. We have this guy, which is a left-handed handle on a right-handed pair of scissors. Many left-handed people have used right-handed scissors their whole life, so we want to make something that fits the hand and fits the way that we're used to using them, where you kind of look across your body to see where you're cutting, kind of, need to peek and see where it's at, and you get used to pulling in with your thumb. So pulling with your thumb keeps those blades together on a right-handed pair of scissors, and it's a hard thing to unlearn. But for those guys who have not been made to do things the right-handed way, we do have a true lefty as well. And so these guys are true lefties. They have the left-handed handle, and then the blades are swapped, which one is on which side, so I can kind of show these 2. You'll notice this one opens that back blade up, whereas the front one goes up on here, even though they're pointing the same direction. And what it does, having a true lefty, is it fits more naturally to your hand. It's going to be in line with the inside of your body. The blade goes down so you can see where you're cutting, and you don't have to pull in with your thumb to make it work. So these guys are the 5210L and then the 5220L for left-handed scissors if you're looking for an option.
It's great that you have left-handed scissors, because there really are, many people, my daughter's a lefty, many people are lefties, so that is awesome. I love that you have such a beautiful variety. I really feel like you have the perfect scissor or cutting tool for whatever the job is.
We try.
Yes, which is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Devin. We really appreciate it.